So, hey, this is Lawyer Greg. Here with Robert Ashford.
Hey.
My friend and writer, Robert Ashford. And we're going over how to give a PowerPoint presentation, which is pretty important. I've given, hundreds at least PowerPoint presentations. And I used to, when I started out, I gave PowerPoint presentations that had all the text on the slide. One example of that might be a slide that I just made for Saving the Farm. But just for a seminar series, we're doing the seminar series, which is based around the book Saving the Farm. Okay, and that's a practical guide to the legal maze of aging in America. Okay, and that book, which we've taken from 213 pages down to a series of slides. Robert has done a lot of that, and I appreciate that. And we're looking at how we want to format those slides. We're going to give those slides also to other attorneys we work with across the United States to do seminars based around the book. And this is a seminar or a PowerPoint slide that has average cost of long-term care in the United States as of 2010. I mean, there's a lot of information on these slides. And Robert and I were just saying that, hey, maybe we want to do a handout to correlate with that and just maybe have an image that was very powerful and put average cost of long-term care. And then have them refer to the handout to look at the details. I used to have slides like that in my presentations. And nobody's looking at me if they're reading the slide. They can't read the fine print that it takes to put a lot of information on a slide. Now, my presentation slides are more like this. They're more image-driven, very few words. So that would be an introductory slide. And then if we're sitting down to eat, I might say we're breaking bread. And when we're done, I'm going to introduce our firm. And then I'm going to say how we help people. I might ask the best way to get involved with a presentation or to give a presentation or a radio show or a podcast or an interactive video talk is by getting the audience involved. Is by what we have to ask ourselves, what are we trying to achieve by giving a presentation on anything? Is it to make money right then? No, I don't think it is. It's to give knowledge and education, but more importantly, it's to make relationships, and it's to build trust. It's an opportunity to connect with a room full of people between 5, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 people maybe, okay? To connect with each one of them and build trust. And what's the best way to do that? Well, to have your eyes meet their eyes, to have your voice reach their ears, to have them see you and you see them. I'm going through all the 5 senses, I think. To have them interact and plug in with you. Ask questions is what I'm getting at. And you want to ask questions of them. You want to bring them in. You want to get them involved. So the best way to give any presentation is to get your audience involved as much as you can through as many senses as possible. So I may talk about helping people. I have a slide up right now that talks about helping people. And I'm going to tell them how I try to help people. I'm going to tell them maybe that we charge money for our services. I may ask them what they did for a living, how they help people, and start to develop that rapport and warm up the audience so they get involved. I have a slide with a picture of my grandfather, which I call the why. So the why for me is I have 6 kids at home and a wife. that I'm working to support. I love them, and I want the best for them. The why for me is my grandfather, Worth McIntyre, who was in assisted living care for a long time. 13, 14 years. And lived a long life, enjoyed his time there. But it took almost everything he had, all his money, and he had to go on Medicaid benefits, right, to get the services that his tax dollars had paid for anyway. So, when you're cranking out hours and work late at night, night after night, you want to have in mind the why. There's a great TED Talk about the why, a great one that I would recommend looking at. And it's about finding your why and understanding that that's why you do business, and that matters a heck of a lot more than how you do business. And just the numbers, okay? That's what carries you through. This presentation I'm going through right now, this is pretty polished, Robert, okay? As far as a basic foundational presentation. It hits the 4 pillars, okay?
Right.
I would like to break out your slides. Can we do work to marry what I have here?
Absolutely.
And your slides that you, what's it called when you, a reduction? That you've simmered from the book, and mesh the two, okay?
Right,
and
and
then,
also we'll be breaking up the slides that we have already into 4 or 5 different seminars anyway.
And that's right. So a lot of things, even this short presentation that I can give for an hour, okay? I could give 40 minutes and then 20 minutes question and answer easy on this presentation. And it's a short number of slides. I have 10 slides. And really, I think I have too many, okay? Because the last 3 can be consolidated into 1 probably, or 2.
And you could
I have 11 slides.
You could actually base a lot of the seminar on the questions that you get during it.
Yeah, so that's a good point. This is not set in stone.
Random,
But
yeah.
if you've got I was talking about this seminar I put together was based on other seminars and PowerPoints that I created in the past. I wanted to give it a new look and feel, so a new skin on it, so it looked a little different, more professional,
Right.
okay? Because that was my audience. I was at a law firm talking to 32 of their call center people, okay? And attorneys were going to be coming in on it too.
Right.
So I was a little nervous, okay? It wasn't just my standard room full of people at the YMCA or our local church, okay?
Yeah.
So I made it look, I polished it a little bit, all right? But I'd given it so many times. And the audience asked questions. So when I went in, I knew we were going to eat. So the slide's breaking bread. And we sit down and eat. So the mood's already set. It's breaking bread. It's peaceful. And I think that's a pretty good image there of bread being broken. And it's just people sitting down eating together, fellowship, right? And then I go in and I introduce the firm. And then I've just got a slide of people holding hands that says helping people. I start telling them how I help people. I start asking them, because when I was creating this one for that audience, I said, and I worked with a mentor of mine, thinking about how, which is fine, and we should all have those mentors. I mean, I talk about that all the time, especially in the book Rockstar Lawyer, right?
Yeah,
And
that's right.
And that whole, about finding your mentors, or mentor or bust, or something. So we were talking about how do I go in and really interact with 32 call center people and attorneys that practice a totally different area of law that I do, that I may work with sometimes on cases, but practice a totally different area of law. And I was clueless to start with. I was like, I don't want to just go in and give a presentation like I would a group of seniors. But really, we just spun the presentation a little bit, or I did, by the thoughts of my coach really asking me, hey, Greg, what's your main goal here? And the goal is building trust.
Yeah.
we're here to build trust with everybody in the room as much as possible. So what do they do? What's their day like? How do they help people? What are their problems and concerns? So you start fleshing out things that have nothing to do, it seems like, to start with the point you're trying to make. But you make connections because they throw out, oh, I have problems with callers sometimes, or I get tired during the day, right? Mm-hmm. I need my passion, right? Which rolls into my why, right? You got to stay passionate in everything you do. You got to have the why. You know, as a personal injury firm and a call center that routes calls where it needs to go and gathers information, you know, hey, have you ever had anybody in your life that was injured or that needed help, right? In your family, you know, a friend. You know, you're helping people. That's your why. You're a part of that process. How many kids do you have? Are you working to help them? Are you putting them through school, right? Those are all whys. So we start talking about our why. And man, I have 6 kids and a wife, all with the same baby mama, you know, which always gets a laugh, right? And it's unusual today. And then, you know, hey, my grandfather was in assisted living for this number of years, and I practice elder law. And any job you have turns into a job at some point, okay? Especially on late hours and when you're tired and you're like, you know, this is rubbish, you know? And so you need the why to keep you pushing through those points of resistance, you know? So that's how you can create trust in relationships, and every seminar takes a different turn as per the audience, you know, whatever the audience wishes and concerns are. If I'm in front of a group of veterans, I may focus on slide number 8 on this seminar if I was giving this one, which is Veterans Aid in Attendance. Mm-hmm. I just spoke before a VFW group a couple weeks ago, and with no PowerPoint, off the cuff. And that's what we concentrated on. I basically did this seminar and hit foundations, but really spent most of my time talking about my military service, right? How many people, and worked a few jokes in there, okay, to get some laughs and warm up the audience, and then start asking where they served and talking about my service and building a common bonded relationship. So the seminar is more about that. What are they going to remember? That's the real key to, that's the key of the whole thing. What are they going to take away?
If you can bring in a story of some kind, that emotional connection is really going to hit home. They're going to remember it.
A friend of mine, a very successful business person, Joe Seidel, once told me that facts tell, stories sell. Okay, and that's very true. You can make more of a connection with a story than with 100 slides worth of facts.
Right.
But in the end, they're going to remember the relationship. They're going to remember the bond, okay, or whatever relationship the experience they had with you. They're going to feel that more than they do remember anything you said. It's more about the way you say it. It's more about how you involve.
Let's face it. Once you've left a seminar, you probably might remember 20% of the stuff that was said during it, if you're lucky.
True.
I mean, that's immediately afterwards. You've probably lost 80% of it.
You probably lose the facts.
But with a story.
But you know, you're like, hey, I kind of like that guy. That's at its basis. Do I like this person or not?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I can relate to him. I can relate to his story.
Yeah.
Somebody in my family, my parent, my grandparent, a friend of mine lost their home, lost everything they had because of a long-term care situation. That's what it's about. Not about how much work we put into the slides, although we're doing that.
Yeah.
So even the seminar series that we're building, to not only for me to give, but to package and sell to other attorneys, elder law and estate planning attorneys nationwide. At the end of the day, if they don't like you and you don't connect and you don't do it right, then it doesn't matter how good the PowerPoint is.
Well, I think the whole idea about doing a book.
There should be a coaching element to this whole thing too. Okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I read that something like 30 million PowerPoints given every day.
Yeah.
And, you know, according to the stuff I was reading, the majority of those are probably crap. They're probably not very good. They're probably the person has not put enough time and effort.
Here's a question for you. Does it have anything to do with the PowerPoint? The whole presentation?
No.
Why do you even do a PowerPoint?
That's a good question. I mean, if you can do it without the PowerPoint.
Now, I'm selling a PowerPoint seminar series, okay? Well, why even have the PowerPoint? I think a few reasons why we have PowerPoint. It's for us as presenters.
So a guide.
A guide to look up and see where we're at and what's next, okay? To keep us on task. That's one reason, and I use it that way, okay? More and more over the years, I have less and less text, if any, on the screen, right? Because I know what I want to talk about. And I can talk for an hour on any slide probably up there, and especially if I involve the audience. If I get stuck, that's what I'm going to do. And then maybe audio visual, well, you know, that's how we work. Picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's important to put some type of picture up there that they can use to recall information or that makes sense, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think a couple of reasons. But it's more about the bond they make with the presenter.
Because I think it would be a great thing to get together and sell it. I mean, it would work. I mean, so many people want to give good presentations and don't, or don't know how.
Yeah. So no, everything we're doing here is we're going to professionally design and package the entire thing. We're going to include a Saving the Farm book in the package, all the PowerPoints on maybe a USB drive, okay, and also this video that we're doing right now will be there, okay, along with a website backbone that'll be on lawyergreg.com, okay, with the seminar series.
What is the worst presentation you've seen? Not given, maybe, but
how about what that I've given? You know, the worst presentation I've given? I've given them where I felt like crap, you know, but I did it anyway. In fact, there's ones that I don't want to do. There's ones that I'm like, man, there's nobody going to show up for this. This is going to be horrible, okay? Or I was mad. I've had them where I was mad. I had a horrible day. Or I was arguing with the person helping me give the seminar. That's happened a lot too. Because again, we're running late. Or we didn't do this. Or we didn't do that. Man, you know, whoever's helped me, you know. I'm thinking of one person right now. You know, it just did not get everything done again, you know, or something. You know what I do with that energy? Energy is energy, man. You know? Yeah, man. It probably turns into my best freaking presentation ever. Worst presentation I ever gave. At the country club, 6 people were there, okay, at 1 o'clock, okay, in the afternoon on Wednesday, all right? Probably, maybe not the best time to do it, okay? But 6 people showed up. It's the smallest group of people I probably ever presented at with a seminar. I promoted hundreds and hundreds of postcard mailers, you know, spent a lot of money on it. And it was the worst attended seminar that I ever gave. I think I gave it my all and was passionate about it, okay, and got excited about it during the seminar. Every single one of those people became my client.
You also said
it's the worst and best seminar I've ever given.
Well,
you know why? You know why I converted? I think 100% of those people as my clients.
Why?
Because it was a small group, and I made a personal connection with every single one of those people, and was able to take time and do it.
Well, you also said that it was somewhat informal because you were at a nice setting. You sat down, you had a meal with them.
That's a different one. That's a different one.
Oh, okay.
That was a different one. Same room, okay? Different date, okay? Different year. It was a book club, okay? A book club. And it's a women's book club. Oldest book club in the county, okay? Great group of ladies. I sat down, I had a short presentation, sat down and had a meal with them, okay? Broke bread with them, and got to personally know them a little bit, you know, talk back and forth and laugh, and got a ton of business from
But I
that.
think if you can do that, if you can make it informal, if you can make that connection straight off, you're far more likely to get into the real depths of what they want to know, what they're after, so that you can.
I have sat down with small groups of
to
people, even 5 or 6, at an assisted living facility, not in this county, in another county, that I gave the scheduled presentation at the table and sat there with them and did it, which was really interesting, and we definitely got business from that. Okay, so no PowerPoint, just sit there and do it.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so don't let the PowerPoint be a crutch.
Yes.
It's just a tool. It's one of the tools. It's about the spotlight's on you though.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, thanks for listening. And this will be up on lawyergreg.com. And yeah, I think we'll package it with and some more videos of me doing seminars, perhaps, okay, and other things with the seminar series that we sell. And we'll also, I think we should offer a coaching back end, okay?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So for a webinar coaching back end, right? Like a conference call, video conference call coaching back end where we talk about seminars. And I review videos of people doing seminars and what you do, what you don't do, and what the purpose is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to get away from the basics. It really is. And it's just about being yourself, connecting with your audience, and building trust and asking questions that involve you.
Right. Yeah.
Peace.